SuperTalk Mississippi media production.
You're listening to SportsTalk Mississippi On Demand, presented by Pearl River Resort. Escape to Choctaw, Mississippi and enjoy world-class gaming, the Dancing Rabbit Golf Club, and Geyser Falls Water Park. Escape to Pearl River Resort.
Sports Talk Mississippi is on the air. Sports Talk Mississippi is powered by C-Spire. Power your home or business with C-Spire Fiber. To learn more, visit supertalk.fm/C-Spire. C-Spire Fiber powers Super Talk Mississippi. To the junction, in the groove, and to the top. This is Sports Talk Mississippi. On your radio and in the game, right here on Super Talk Mississippi.
Welcome in Sports Talk Mississippi, on the road for the first time since the college football playoff. It's been too long. I'm glad we're on the road. What, you reminiscing?
Oh, sorry.
Fond memories of your time at the library getting ready for the college football playoff. We are in Hadad's neck of the woods today, and if you are a listener of our political shows, you already know where we are, although our location is better than the morning's location. Richard had to be inside because, you know, the morning political show hosted by one Richard Cross starts before the sun comes up.
Yeah.
So they couldn't be outside. He was actually inside that building. We are hanging on the back porch right now. If you're watching on SuperTalk TV, you can see behind us, there's the body of water, not a lake.
We're sitting on the dock of the bay.
Sitting on the dock of the bay. The waterway is where we are right now. And more specifically, hey, Dad, again, your neck of the woods, although you don't live here.
Just down the road.
In the Golden Triangle. Good things happening here in the Golden Triangle. More specifically, this weekend, the BassMaster Elite Series is here. The 10-Tom Waterway right here in Columbus, Mississippi. We'll talk about that throughout the day with you. We also have an angler that's going to join us here in just a little bit, a guy competing in this event. And I will tell you from experience. Now, we would talk this up regardless, but I personally have been to a couple of Bassmaster events. One at Lake Wiley. I almost said Wake Liley.
Wake Liley, yeah.
It's called a spoonerism, right? Isn't that what that's called?
That's correct, yeah.
Lake Wiley, which is outside of Charlotte, and then another one on Lake Hartwell, which is where Clemson sits. Clemson sits right on Lake Hartwell. And I'm telling you guys, even if you're not like an intense fisherman, it's worth coming. If you're in the area, they'll have a stage set up. What you do, I'm going to simplify it for you. You hang out, the weather's beautiful, they'll have food trucks, a band playing, and then every so often guys are going to hop up on stage and show you the massive fish that they caught during the day.
That sounds fun.
It's a pretty great day, especially if you have little ones. So come out and see it this weekend. The gates will open. We're at the Columbus Marina, by the way, is where we are.
That's right.
Noon on Saturday and Sunday. So March 28th and March 29th, they will open at noon. There's even some displays and stuff, and also demo rides if you're interested in buying a boat. So there's a lot going on this weekend, and we are so glad that you are with us right here on the road for Sports Talk Mississippi.
And we may be on the road, but we are always in the Pearl River Resort studios. PearlRiverResort.com is the place to book your next weekend adventure. If you're not out here fishing, maybe you like to be, out there playing golf or out there having a great meal or out there seeing some great live entertainment. You can do all those things at Pearl River Resort. Book your stay at PearlRiverResort.com. C-Spire text line is open to you at 601-879-4395. Every sports fan can tell you fast speed wins games. That's why C-Spire brings you fiber home internet, nationwide 5G wireless, and IT solutions that move as fast as your business. Learn more at cspire.com. C-Spire, inspired by you.
When's the last time you've caught a largemouth bass?
I haven't been fishing in a long, long time. I was a kid, probably. Maybe late teens.
I was thinking about this.
We were asked about fishing on the rumblings yesterday, and I was like, I like to fish. I don't know why I don't do it more often.
It is fun.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun. Guys out here practicing. As I understand it.
2 giant bees, by the way.
I know. But they've been here all day, and I'm just going to, out of sight, out of mind. If I don't look to my left, the bees aren't there. Because they're not going to sting.
Every time you talk, I have to look over there.
They're
that
checking
bee is
me
literally
out.
like this big.
Bees.
bees.
Like bees on the field?
Yeah. Quicksand.
Yeah, they are buzzing above my head right now. But I was thinking about this on the way in. I think the largemouth bass was robbed by the bald eagle. Because if the bald eagle did not exist, the largemouth bass would be like the animal symbol of America. What is more American than having a beer and catching a bass? You know what I mean?
I think so. What you're saying is here on SportsTalk Mississippi, not only have we changed our national anthem,
I'm saying if the eagle did not exist.
So you do want to keep the eagle as our national
100%.
emblem.
Yes.
You don't want to switch that to a largemouth bass.
Especially now that there's one.
It would be like House Tully.
Yeah. No, after you've seen them in the wild, no, that is the animalic symbol of America. The animal symbol of America is the bald eagle.
Animalic.
Isn't that a word?
I don't think so.
Let's see. Let's see what Google said.
I don't think that animalic is a word. I got to be totally honest with you. Am I right? I got to be right.
No, animalic is absolutely a word. But it is.
I think you're looking on that other Google.
No, animalic is absolutely a word.
Okay.
Probably not really. No, it is. Merriam-Webster. You caused me to doubt myself. I used it exactly how it was supposed to be.
Animalic, that man said. So
anyway, I was right. You were wrong.
You want to keep the eagle, but we are still switching to.
But the largemouth bass is, I think, a clear second place for America's animal.
I think the largemouth bass, maybe for the South itself, that could be the symbol for us. Because if you're in the South, that's what you're fishing for, more than likely, right? So the symbol of the South could be the largemouth bass.
I hear you.
I like that.
Did y'all have a Billy largemouth bass? Yes, I did.
Not. I
definitely had one of those. Those things were they were awesome for 5 to 10 minutes, and then they became the worst thing that you've ever had in your house.
Yeah,
I have seen people program them like they rewire
say
them.
different stuff. Yeah,
they can say things, or like they'll do rap music and stuff, but it's really funny. You got a bass hanging on your wall that's just rapping.
Yeah. Yeah, no.
Like Wiz Khalifa out there with your bass hanging on your wall.
A bass out there. Mini men. Yeah, that would be, I don't want that.
Somebody says the turkey should be it instead of the eagle.
That's what Ben Franklin wanted.
But we eat the turkeys.
Well, we think about the wild turkey.
And we eat the fish too, but we shoot and eat the turkeys. We do not shoot and eat the bald eagle.
No, I wouldn't do that.
So it's got to be.
But do you not do that because it's the symbol of America? If it had never been the symbol of America, would we have eagle on Thanksgiving? There they are. Did you see those guys?
Oof. We don't eat any eagles.
Permission to buzz the tower.
I mean,
happened.
Do we eat any birds of prey at all?
That's a good question. I don't think so.
No owls, hawks.
It's probably a thing of like necessity. If you were starving, you'd eat a hawk. But
wouldn't be able to get one if I could.
That's a good point too.
But we do eat the bass.
But
that's part of the reason why it finishes in second. Because ultimately it is a fish. It's an awesome fish, but a fish nonetheless. We're excited to be here. Obviously,
speaking of eagles. Not a good night for them last night in Starkville.
No, and we'll get to a more detailed conversation about that game because we're up against a hard break, and one of the participants in the event this week is going to join us here in just a couple of minutes. But, what happened? Well, there's two what happens. There's what happened at Starkville to Southern Miss, get run-ruled by Mississippi State, and then Ole Miss goes up to Memphis and, using the word of their head coach, embarrassed themselves last night.
That's kind of on me, guys.
It's your fault.
That's kind of on me.
I knew that was going to happen.
I jinxed that. I'm not going to say I'm sorry for it. You guys know who I am and what I stand for. But I absolutely am responsible for that. I will sit here in front of you, in front of all of you. I'll stare right into that camera right there, and I will take full responsibility because I am a model American. And when I make a mistake, or in this case, cause someone some problems, I'll take responsibility.
It is totally your fault
that
the Ole Miss offense disappeared for the 5,000th time.
I need to figure out exactly how I phrased it, and then figure out if we can't make some money off of these things now.
Yeah, exactly, Hadad. Why don't you say, hey, Michael, you are definitely not going to win the lottery.
No chance of that happening.
That'll never happen.
And, of course, you would never split any of the winnings with me either.
If you jinxed me into winning the lottery, I will split with you.
Very good.
Well,
but I don't know if that's obviously not going to happen. So yeah. Which result to you on the surface is more surprising?
Ole Miss losing to Memphis.
Yeah, Memphis is not a good team.
Mississippi State's got the best offense in the country right now.
So
them run ruling somebody at home, regardless of how good
Southern
that
Mississippi
somebody
is surprising,
but not as surprising as losing to 6-16 Memphis
with
4 hits. One of them should not have been a hit. It was an overturned review that should not have been overturned.
Oh wow.
I mean, so that's.
I
what
saw
we're
the 4 hits.
about
I didn't see that. I didn't go into that great of a detail.
Yeah. So we'll talk about what happened in baseball in more detail coming up. Also, Gibbs sends us a picture of Connor Hellebuck's helmet with a largemouth bass on the side of it.
Well, there you go.
Look, that's pretty sweet, isn't it?
Yeah, that'll work.
A good second place animal as Freebird plays. Hey, that hand over your heart. John Cruz is going to join us when we come back. Talk a little BassMaster Elite because. Why would we not? It's a beautiful day. We're on the water. He just got in from practicing as well. So we'll talk about all of that with him, and then we'll get into baseball. Mississippi State run rules, Southern Miss. Ole Miss loses at Memphis. Guys, Will Wade is going to go to LSU. They're just waiting until April 1st to reduce the buyouts.
Yeah.
And Will Wade is off to LSU, and does that have a ripple effect? And if so, what is
it very well might
that ripple effect? We will talk about all that today on this edition of Sports Talk Mississippi. We'll keep talking fishing when we come back. Stick with us.
From the Venable.
This is Sports Talk Mississippi, right here on SuperTalk.fm, the SuperTalk Mississippi app, and always live on your local SuperTalk Mississippi radio station.
Welcome back in Sports Talk Mississippi, BassMaster Elite Series here in Columbus, Mississippi. We are on the road. The day is beautiful, and the fishing hopefully is good. John Cruz joins us right now. Been on, is it tour? Do we call it tour? Been on tour for, I'm a golf guy, so
yes, it's close enough, yeah.
It works for quite some time now.
That's right. Yeah, one of the veteran guys out here. I still love it. Still love the competition. Long days. It's a grind of a practice period. It seems like every time you got to put your time in, and then hopefully the tournament results will come.
What is that like? So this is a new, I guess we can call it a venue,
right.
New venue for you guys. When that is happening, how do you prepare to go practice? And then when you're practicing, how do you prepare to compete? What's that like?
So we go to all kind of different fisheries, and this is a kind of a unique fishery. It's a blend of 2 or 3 places that I have fished in my life, and I actually fished here about 20 years ago. There was a BassMaster Open here, and I was fishing here. It was a September tournament, a little bit tougher fishing, but I had a top 10 in that tournament, so I'm gonna see if I can't have another top 10 again. So you kind of pull from all kind of experiences. And then take the time of the year, what the fish are doing, and then try to go out there and get a little pattern going, try to find some good areas.
When's the best time of year for fishing in an area like this?
Typically, it's in the spring. You got a couple different things going on. The pre-spawn is typically good because the fish are getting aggressive. They're moving towards the shallows, getting to the spawning areas. The spawn is typically good because you have the fish are up there and they are territorial. They can be a little finicky, but that is a good time. And then in the post-spawn, like we kind of have right now, you get what's known as the shad spawn. The shad spawn at night. The bass know what's going on. They get up there in the grass. They get up on the rocks. And then those bass are up there waiting for them. So that goes into like the first hour of the day, and then the shad stop spawning, and then the bass are kind of still lurking around the shallows, and then they kind of go a little more dormant for the rest of the day. But that first hour, a lot of times, could be some good action right now.
So when I think about fishing, I think about it's relaxing. I like to get out on the boat, just enjoy myself. How is fishing competitively? How does one go to that?
It's kind of like the guys in NASCAR or IndyCar. It's kind of like they just drive for a living.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the same thing. Every second that we're out there counts. But we are more of endurance athletes, honestly, because we're our time period is 8-9 hours long. So we're out there for a long time. We're trying to make more casts. We're trying to be more efficient. We're trying not to waste any time, because the more casts that you make, the more chances you have of catching a fish, or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5.
When you think about, the tour, how many different places do you go to in a year?
The Elite Series is 9 events, but then we have the BassMaster Classic. So if you're lucky enough to qualify for that from the previous year, then you'll have 10 events. But you can add on fishing some. You can fish opens, you can fish other tournaments as well. But the Elite Series, it's the top of the top. It's the best of the best.
What are some of the exotic locations you fished in?
We've been down to Lake Falcon down on the Mexico border in Texas. That's one of the furthest places we've been. We've been to the West Coast a number of times. California Delta, that's where I'm on my first BassMaster Elite Series event. And then, we go up to like the St. John's, St. Lawrence River up in New York, Canadian border. That place is beautiful. It's massive. Lake Champlain, one of the prettiest places you'll ever go in your whole life.
When did you know that you'd be able to do this, for a living? That this could be your job instead of your hobby?
When I was in college, I started fishing competitively, because I stopped playing stick and ball sports. I played golf and baseball in high school, and I loved every second of it. But then when I went to college, I didn't want to be owned by a sport. That's kind of how it works a lot of times. And so I said, man, I'm just not going to do anything. And so I had fished some tournaments, and I started getting more and more serious about the tournaments. And about halfway through college, what everybody asks you when you're in college, what are you going to do when you get out of college? Yeah. And I said, no, I'm done. I'm done with that question. I'm going to be a pro angler. And then when people said, oh, good, well, you're going to get a college degree, so you have something to fall back on. And my answer was always, I don't know what you're talking about. Falling back. I don't know what you're talking about. And they're like, what do you mean if it doesn't work out? I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Failure was not an option.
Not an option, bud.
So you're from Virginia. Where did you go to college, if you don't mind me asking?
Randolph-Macon College, a small Division III college there just north of Richmond.
So did you grow up a Virginia Tech fan or a Virginia fan?
I neither one, really, personally. I live in Virginia Tech country now. But I've been to both football games. When they're playing each other, it's like I don't know who to root for. But when they're not playing each other, I'll root for whichever one.
Interesting, because we're in a state where we have some people like you, but we're quite tribal.
There's a lot of division,
divided around.
Yeah, other states, Alabama's the same way. You're either one or the other. There really hasn't been a big rivalry in probably 15 to 20 years. When I was a kid, the Virginia Tech UVA rivalry was real because they were both top 20 teams. They were going to bowls every year, and both programs in the last handful of years, Virginia Tech and Virginia, they both have sucked. Be honest.
Maybe not anymore with Franklin, but
we'll see.
Yeah, I think he's a really good fit. And I expect big things. Frank Beamer were just massive shoes to fill. You know, I mean, bowls every year set the record. I believe him or Bobby Bowden, one or the other. But man, just crazy run of bowl games. Now, hopefully, we get back into that action.
Yeah. So we got a question for you here on the C Spire text line. It says one of our listeners says he's caught a ton of fish on your shredder. And he's used all 3 colors. He's heard there's supposed to be some new colors coming out. When is that going to happen?
Man, I wish that was a very interesting bait that we came out with, and the mold actually broke. And so I actually own Missile Baits, the soft plastic bait company, and we have about 3 or 4 different mold manufacturers that we use for the soft plastics, and none of them will touch that mold. They're like, no, I can't make that. I had a couple of them send me what they could make, and it was nothing really similar. So it's kind of a weird situation, but those 3 are it, man. If you like that bait, you better get out there and get you some more of them.
So as a pro, do you have your own line of reels, rods, baits, everything?
So I own the soft plastics. It's skirted jigs and soft plastics is what we do. So we have some terminal tackle as well. But everything else, I represent other companies. Companies like Spro, Gamakatsu. I've been working with those guys for 20 years. Bass Cat Boats, Mercury, 20 plus years with those 2 companies. So I've been doing it for a long time. But then also you get some new stuff like Bass Bucks. Bass Bucks is a new daily fantasy fishing app for bass fishing.
Fantastic.
For bass fishing.
So
you can, if you get on there before tomorrow, you can go ahead and sign up for the Pick'em. $1 million if you pick the rest of the 7 winners for the rest of the year.
So just pick you 7 times and call it a day?
Of course. I mean, that's the only one.
Well, I mean,
This guy says you have the best flipping bait alive, the D-bomb.
D-bomb, that's it.
He says he loves it. We've got some more questions for you here. Can you use a live scope during the tournament?
Not in this one.
Okay.
So our schedule this year for the BassMaster Elite Series is half with live scope and half without. The forward-facing sonar, Lowrance's Active Target, Hummingbird's Mega Live 2. So the different ones, different companies have different calling, what they call forward-facing sonar. This is a non-forward-facing sonar. I really don't think it would make that big of a difference, but man, if you can use that thing, it helps you be more efficient. And now we have a little bit of a mix of with and without.
So there has been a debate in the fishing world about this, just like we're dealing with it in golf right now about equipment. So right. you seem indifferent. Is that an accurate way to describe it, or are you pro or anti?
I love bass fishing. Whether you use a live scope or not, I love bass fishing. Period. I like using it, but I also like not using it. I mean, I think that's an acceptable answer. It seems like you have to be one or the other. You have to be for or against it. Mm-hmm. But it's not that way for me. And there's a lot of guys that I've talked to that feel the same way. They like using it, but they don't want to use it all the time or have to use it all the time.
Another question from one of our listeners. I'm going to paraphrase this question though. Other than you, who's the toughest guy to beat on the series?
Oh man. The last 2 years, Chris Johnston has won Angler of the Year 2 years in a row. Mm-hmm. That is, I think it's only been done 4 times in the 56 years of bass fishing for Bassmaster. So he is at the top. Trey McKinney, young gun, he has finished second 2 years in a row. Those two guys, top of the sport right now.
Biggest bass you've ever caught in your life?
You got to tell us. Yeah.
11-2. 11-2. I caught it in a Bassmaster tournament on the St. Johns River, and I caught it on a spinning rod. I wasn't using like heavy tackle. That thing it took me up under some trees, and it came out.
I bet it did.
It was crazy.
You've got a replica of that hanging in your house, right? You have to.
I do not.
Oh, no.
I do not. I have a 9-pounder I caught when I was 18. I have the replica of that, but I don't have that 11-2. I have a picture of it. I have a number of pictures of it, but I've got to get a teener. I'm going to get a teener, and then I'm going to get the replica. That's my goal.
Got about 30 seconds left. Just biggest fish overall.
A Goliath grouper.
Nice.
I think it was 250 pounds. It was all me and my buddy could do to get it up. It was crazy.
That's crazy stuff. Awesome stuff, man. Really appreciate your time.
Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate you guys.
Good luck this weekend.
Glad you're here covering the tournament. It'll be a lot of fun to watch, and hopefully everybody out there can tune in and check everything out on Fox Sports this weekend. Got to get on that live and get on the Bass Bucks. Try to win you $1 million.
Sports Talk Mississippi. We'll be right back. He joined us on the Farm Bureau guest line in person. Check out favorites.com and go with the home team.
Sports Talk Mississippi. SuperTalk Mississippi.
I want to say thank you again to John Cruz. He already took off. He actually took time out of his practice window to come talk to us.
Daylight's wasted.
And so really kind with his time. Really good interview. John Cruz, but not Tom Cruise, not spelt that way. Crews. If you want to follow him and check out the action. And as we told you, so they had the Classic 2 weeks ago, and it did a massive TV number. 6.5 million people watched the Bassmaster Classic. I guess it was 2 weeks ago, right? They had a week off, and then they came here. I believe I have that schedule correct. Mm-hmm. And so really good stuff. Again, if you're in the area, it's worth coming out. Clearly the fishermen themselves are good guys, but you're going to have fun if you come here. Saturday and Sunday, gates open at noon on Saturday and Sunday. They got a bunch of kid stuff going on out here, food trucks, live music, and more. And also, again, maybe they'll catch an 11-pounder or a teener, as he called it.
A teener.
That's right.
Yeah.
So good stuff there. Let's talk baseball. By the way, I'm Michael Borkey. He's Brian Hadad. This is Sports Talk Mississippi. Last night in Starkville, Mississippi State jumped all over Southern Miss, and then they just kept jumping and kept jumping and kept jumping en route to a 12-0 victory. Run rule. That game ended, obviously, in the 7th. 14 hits and 12 runs for Mississippi State. Just a dominating win over a really good Southern Miss team.
Yeah, and what's surprising about it to me, or maybe not surprising, what's impressive about it to me is not the hitting. It is the pitching. To hold Southern Mississippi to no runs. Chris Billingsley, we weren't sure what we were getting there.
2 hits on 2 complete, 2 strikeouts, no runs.
Really good for Mississippi State. And then they bring in, it's 4-0, and you wonder who they're going to go to next. They went to Jack Bauer. In the last couple times we've seen Jack Bauer, he's
no hits, no runs, 1 strikeout on 1 1/3.
I mean, looked really, really sharp. And those are 2 guys that I know they have good stuff. Can they deliver when State needs them to? So, Parker Rhodes, they bring in Maddox Miller to finish it out. Just the bullpen was really good for Mississippi State. The offense I'm expecting at this point, right? This is as good an offensive lineup as there is in college baseball, top to bottom. Really no weakness in it.
But here's what's crazy about that. So Southern Miss did the bullpen game thing that they do, but they did the bullpen game against Mississippi State earlier, against Ole Miss, and against Alabama, and shut them down. Well, so even though it's a bullpen game, they still have elite pitching. Mississippi State struck out 5 times last night. That's it.
Part of it is being on the road versus being at home.
That is true.
And let's give the Mississippi State fan base some credit. I mean, I was talking about this earlier on the podcast. I didn't know State could reach another gear of support, but when you're having almost 13,000 people for a midweek game.
And that's not one of those things where there's reported attendance, but there's really 3,500 people there. I mean, that was legitimate.
And that's a huge number. So, the crowd was into it from the beginning, and I thought that they just did a great job of being there for the team. And, man, this team, they're good. And we're going to see what happens this weekend when they play Ole Miss. But, I'm sure we're going to talk about Ole Miss in a minute, but when you look at State's offense and Ole Miss's offense, they're different. We'll just say it like that.
They absolutely are different. Every different starter for Mississippi State had at least 1 hit last night.
Yeah. And, I mean, when you think about – look at this lineup, right? You get down to – you think, okay, 7, 8, 9, what are we looking at here? Well, 7 is the reigning SEC freshman of the week who's hitting about 380, who launched a home run at 113 miles per hour off the bat yesterday. The 8th place hitter is struggling a little bit right now, but he's starting to find his way. He hit double-digit home runs a year ago for Seton Hall. The 9th place hitter in that lineup is the leading hitter in the Southeastern Conference. That's what you're looking at the bottom of the order. There just really isn't a break for anybody right now. So this team is they're just playing good baseball right this second. Going to be interesting to see what they do on the road. State got some really good news last night, and when we talked, well, I say we, I wasn't there. When they talked to O'Connor after the game, no, as I said yesterday, McPherson had already had Tommy John. It likely wasn't going to be a UCL injury. It isn't. It's a forearm strain. He's not going to pitch this weekend. I don't know what State's going to do, but my thought process is they are going to pitch somebody different on Friday, keep Valinkas and Stone Saturday, Sunday, and just see if you can get to Hunter Elliott. Because I think, going back to what we talked about with the Arkansas series, right? If State puts up 5-6 runs on Hunter Elliott, they got a great chance to win that game.
Absolutely.
Because Ole Miss just isn't scoring a lot right now.
Not consistently, they're not.
So we'll see what happens there. But, I mean, this is a chance for State. They played the number 3 RPI team last night, and then Ole Miss, I think, is, 7th or 8th, something like that. Chance to get a lot of quality wins this week and really boost up that resume, be a top 10. They're already a top 10 RPI team. Can they be a top 5 RPI team at the end of this week? They have that chance.
Here is the threshold that I'm going to use to really hammer home how deep this lineup is for Mississippi State right now. I'm going to use at least 10 starts, so double-digit starts. These are the batting averages for State hitters with at least 10 starts. 452, and that's 24 starts. That's Bryce Chance.
Bryce Chance, yeah.
386, 375, 359, 344, 333, 315. James Nunnally hitting 222.
Right. And he's not in the starting lineup anymore.
Valinkas, 419.
Yeah.
Wires, 378. Jacob Parker, 364. And you've got a couple more guys that have insane averages that don't hit that threshold. But I mean,
yeah, you look at State right here, right? Wires, Beavis, Sean James, Valencius, they don't start.
Sorry, I said Valencius.
Yeah.
Valencius.
Valencius is hitting 419. He doesn't start. Sean James is hitting 387. He doesn't start. Blake Beavis is hitting 385. He doesn't start. Drew Wires is hitting 378. He doesn't start. Andrew Raymond is hitting 333. He doesn't start. These guys don't start for
Mississippi State. And they've got a ton of appearances still to make that average noteworthy.
Yeah, State's played the same starting lineup 4 games in a row now. They're starting to settle in to what they want. My guess is you could still see them platoon, at the second base position. But Fry had 2 hits last night. He had 2 hits on Sunday. He's a good hitter. We've all seen him do it before. They're just so deep right now. Again, they're just playing baseball right now at a really high level.
Extremely confident, and that confidence is just oozing out of every batter, and it's building on top of building on top of building.
And then when they get going, they're just tough to stop. So last night, they I think the streak snapped in the bottom of the 6th. But going back to the Vanderbilt Sunday game, they had scored in 12 straight innings. Like when you're scoring every inning, you're putting that kind of pressure on the opposing team's pitching staff. It's tough to lose. So, they've got a great opportunity this weekend against a team who, quite honestly, struggles offensively. Teams that struggle offensively are going to struggle to beat Mississippi State. You're going to eventually have to outslug them at some point unless you're going to throw 3 elite pitchers at them, kind of the way Arkansas did. Mm-hmm. And even then, Arkansas had to find some runs. So I'm excited to see what happens this weekend in Oxford. I think State has a great chance to get that series. And we keep talking.
But the way they're hitting and the way Ole Miss is not hitting, right. I mean, how could you think anything else as of this moment?
When we talked about, how do you host, right? You win all your series at home and you don't get swept on the road. And then it's about finding 1 or 2 extra wins. Either you sweep at home or you win a road series. We could be back-to-back weekends for State where they sweep at home and then win a road series. And then you're sitting at 6-3 when the math lines up where you should be 4-6. Or I'm sorry, 4-5. That's huge. Yeah. That's huge for Mississippi State. So we'll see what happens, obviously.
With the McPherson injury, and like you said, so no UCL damage, but forearm strain. It could be a few weeks before you see him again because of that.
I think they will do that.
Yeah. The goal is not to win in March.
Right.
The goal is to go win in June, and so they might protect him more than they quote-unquote need to just because of that.
And you can do that because offensively you're going to put runs up on everybody. So,
but that shows how important Hunter Elliott's start is on Friday. Hunter Elliott has to. If Ole Miss is going to win the series, Hunter Elliott has to
no
be
chance
awesome
to win
Friday.
the series if Ole Miss doesn't win the Friday game.
Agreed.
They're not going to beat Valincus, I don't think. And then Sunday is always an offensive day. And if it's State versus Ole Miss offensively, you have to like State's chances in that.
There is one that on paper has done much better in that spot. It's just hard to argue. And of course, in sports, anything can happen. But right now, I mean, we had texters mad at me yesterday. But right now, after the way Ole Miss looked last night, and we'll get to that coming up here in a little bit, it's really concerning. And look, they pitch it really well, and that's going to have to be at a premium this weekend. Hunter Elliott has got to be special on Friday. You have got to get a better start from Libbert, because if you don't, and especially, I know history doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. What these teams are right now is what matters. But man, Mississippi State as of late has absolutely owned Ole Miss in baseball. Mm-hmm. There's no other way around it. There are people that for some reason want to push back on that. You can't. Mm-hmm. In baseball, Mississippi State's big brother. They just are. They are.
I didn't say anything.
The numbers tell you that if Ole Miss is going to overcome that, you have got to get high-level starts from Hunter Elliott. And, I mean, is Townsend going to be available? We'll have to see. We don't know. That has not been ruled out as of yet. But
right. I did talk, and you'll hear this interview later tonight on Thunder and Lightning Live. I spoke with Rebels 24/7 Chase Parham. He says he expects Townsend to go this weekend.
And how much can he give you?
That's the question. Like, is he on a pitch count? Well, how free is he? But they expect him to start on Saturday. But that's where State's starting their best pitcher is Valincus. Mm-hmm. And this Ole Miss lineup, they've struggled, but they've struggled more against left-handers. And this guy is as good a lefty. We're going to see the 2 best lefties in the SEC this weekend with Hunter Elliott and Tomas Valincus, no doubt.
Big series upcoming. Crowds are going to be awesome.
Should be, yeah.
Should be awesome. 2 teams, slightly different momentum, to say the least, after the midweek games, but really exciting series. We'll keep talking about that. But when we come back, more fishing talk. It's Fishing Talk Mississippi Day. We're at the BassMaster Elite Series in Columbus. We'll be right back.
From the Sports Talk Mississippi is back. This is it. Super Talk Mississippi.
Welcome back, Sports Talk Mississippi, live in Columbus today, talking bass BassMaster Elite Series with Eric Lopez. He's the Director of Event Operations, and we were talking a little bit before we got on about your deal with Fox and how the Classic 2 weeks ago, right, did a really good TV number and things like that. But let's buckle in on this event. Why Columbus, Mississippi? Why did you guys land on here to have this event this weekend?
Well, first, thanks for having me on and all the coverage you've been giving us all day. We really appreciate it. We're set up like a lot of different sports. I think some other folks were on and said we're similar to golf, which we are. We're similar to baseball as well. We have a minor league system. And last year we had one of our open events that was here, and which is our minor league. It's one of the ways you can qualify for the elites, and it did really well. People were very interested. There was a lot of good support. Our folks that ran that event said, the crowds came out, people supported it, and we think it would be a great location to bring the big boys, the pros here. So I reached out to the county here, and they're like, yeah, let's make it happen.
That's awesome.
So how often are you in the state of Mississippi as far as touring? How many times have you had an event here?
So from an elite standpoint, this will actually only be our second time since the Elite Series started in 2006. We've had a lot of other events, like I said, the Open. We have a collegiate level, a high school level. We've had a lot of events. There are clubs around the state that are called Bass Nation. So people may have seen our logos at other events here, but this is only the second time that the pros have been here. So this is a big deal for us, and we hope for the fans.
What are the requirements for your body of water, shall we say, to be considered for an event like this?
Sure. Well, it has to be fishable.
Yeah.
We have to know that there are fish in there.
That would be the first thing, yes.
Yeah.
It's beautiful, but there's no fish.
Yeah, and there are definitely those bodies of water around the country.
Yeah.
We need to make sure, by me saying that, sometimes bodies of water can be overfished, and we want to make sure that we're not taxing the resource.
Right.
Or there's something going on, or the fishery or the DNR folks may be saying, we want the population to come back. So it has to be healthy. And we knew, based on what we saw last year with our Open, that it's very healthy. But to be honest, for an event this size, it's not as much the water as it is the local infrastructure. Mm-hmm. So this is not your grandfather's fishing tournament. I mean, there are about 45 to 50 of us from a staff standpoint putting this on that all travel in. Mm-hmm. We're live on TV for numerous hours. So that brings a whole contingent. We need to make sure that we have the infrastructure, the hotels, the restaurants, close airports, the ability for people to come in here. And just like you guys broadcast, from different locations, you have to call ahead and make sure that all the services are there. We have to do that in order to make sure we can guarantee a fun time for the folks on site, but also making sure that we can bring that message to the millions of people that are watching around the world.
What is that coverage window this weekend, by the way, for those in our audience right now that want to watch?
Sure, absolutely. It's a great question. Go to our website, BassMaster.com. We have a variety of ways that people can watch. The event is Thursday through Sunday. Thursday and Friday, we start out on BassMaster.com. We also have a Roku channel. We have a relationship with Roku, which confuses some people because that does not cut into our Fox broadcast.
My mother would be among the people confused.
Yeah, we get that, and we see some of the folks. We appreciate people's patience. So Saturday and Sunday, we will be on FS1 and Fox Network. So awesome. You can go to our website, like I said, and get the times. But Roku Thursday and Friday. So our social, our website has everything listed right now.
So you were talking about it before we got back on the air, the deal you guys have with Fox. It seems to be very fruitful in its early stages.
It's a great relationship. I've been here since the beginning of the Elite Series, so I've seen all the iterations of what's happened. And we had a different partner ownership group, actually, and that was gangbusters for us. That really helped elevate the sport and bring it to the masses. But one thing that's key for us now is the ability to be live. We're the only fishing organization that has live television coverage. We fully believe in live sports. You guys work in sports, and people know that live sports is really what's keeping television going these days. All the cable companies that are going away. When you take a look at what the top 100 shows are, 95%+ of that are live sporting events. So the fact that we have the ability to be live, Fox is a great relationship, has a great partner with us. They believe in that. One of the things, without getting into the weeds, one of the things that is very important is what's called the lead-in. What show are we before, or what's before us? So we complement a lot of the other shows that Fox FS1 already has, such as NASCAR and some of their college programming. When you look at the demographic, the type of people that watch those shows, it's the same person that watches our show. So they complement each other really well. So that's another reason why Fox and us have a great relationship.
So just a few seconds left here, but do you got somebody in a boat with a camera just trying to be as quiet as they possibly can, trying to keep up with the fishermen?
We have 10+ professional cameramen in boats trying to be as quiet as they can.
You didn't grow up watching the BassMaster Classic stuff, did you?
Oh,
yeah,
much,
it's so funny. They get the cameramen are on the boats, and you've got Taylor boats too, right? That kind of follow or go from fisherman to fisherman.
We just did the Bassmaster Classic, and one of our guys had 40 boats chasing him.
Wow.
Yep.
That's crazy.
Yep.
That's awesome,
like a golf gallery, but out there on the water.
It's the exact same thing.
That's
so
awesome.
Cool. That's awesome. Really appreciate your time.
Thank you for having me.
All right, Eric Lopez, Bass Director of Event Operations, joining us here today. When we come back, we'll tell you what's up on Sports Talk Mississippi, plenty more baseball talk, and plenty more Bassmaster talk as we go along here at the Columbus Marina. Back in just a minute here on Sports Talk Mississippi.
Your home. You can be a part of Sports Talk Mississippi. 888-808-8637 on Super Talk Mississippi.
Sports Talk Mississippi back with you here on a Wednesday afternoon. I'm Brian Hadad. He's Michael Borkey. We are live here at the Columbus Marina for the BassMaster Elite Series event that's going on this weekend here in the Golden Triangle. You know, if you can't be out on the water this weekend, maybe the place to be is out in your yard fighting the never-ending war against the weeds. Well, our friends over at Ag Up have got you taken care of. Right now, you can get a brand new John Deere 3025E with a loader starting at only $265 per month during their 3 Series tractor blowout. Do we need to get a John Deere B tractor?
I am armed and ready
These
against
bees
these
are,
bees.
They're tough. They're tough. They've got additional 3 Series models available for you right now at Ag Up, and they are priced to sell. We'll just put it that way, but...
And they will not last.
They will not last. There's a limited number. You need to get to Ag Up today. There's 15 locations in Central and South Mississippi. Go find the nearest one to you and go see. Get yourself in a John Deere green tractor, an
America's tractor
America's tractor, a family business selling America's tractors. I can't put on the T anymore for you than to tell you to go visit your down-home dealer or go to agup.com for all the details.
Speaking of putting it on the tee, Tiger Woods teed up in TGL last night.
Yeah.
I don't think he can walk 18 holes at Augusta. It sounds like he's going to try to play. The swing looks good, and they have all the swing data and stuff. Ball speeds of over 180 miles an hour, that's good.
Yeah.
When he walks, I do not see
a little hitch in the giddy-up.
It's just not the same.
Okay.
But apparently it looks like and sounds like he's going to try. Ole Miss tried to hit the ball last night. They just couldn't do it. 6-2. A loss to Memphis in Memphis. Just 4 hits for Ole Miss in the game. And, it's a midweek game. You don't want to overreact to midweek games. Everybody besides State in the SEC has a stupid midweek loss. Everybody.
Texas got one last night.
Texas is that their second one now? Yeah. So Texas has
Houston isn't a terrible loss, but it's not great. You don't melt down over one midweek loss, but it's a really bad one. Mm-hmm. It's a really bad one, and especially when yesterday we talked about how their resume didn't have any smirches on it.
And jinx jokes aside, but now it does. And look, It'd be different if the thing that cost them last night was a thing that doesn't cost them.
Right.
You know what I mean? If you scored a bunch of runs but gave up a bunch of runs with that pitching staff, you think, that was just an off night. You know, it's baseball. That thing happens.
But no, it's only 2 runs.
2 runs on 4 hits, and one of the runs Hadad came on bases loaded, no out, and it was ground out, strikeout. That's what ended the inning. So even one of the times they did something good, it really wasn't good. And that's the problem with this team right now. And we're a broken record, but it's the same problem, and it's been the same problem. Offensively, they disappear. They're extremely inconsistent, and because you know it's in there, right? You saw it Friday night in Austin. Scored a bunch of runs that night. You saw it. I think you saw it on Thursday night against Kentucky, really. They only scored 5 runs, but it was a good offensive night.
They scored 12 on Saturday.
They scored 12 in Game 3, and they did it through manufacturing runs, but then scattered in between those moments of, hey, they got it, is last night. Awful with runners on base, awful in scoring position, non-competitive at bats, leaving 9 on base.
No,
had an error.
It's still early. But was the error costly?
It was from the pitcher.
Okay.
But, I mean, not really.
Okay. I'm just saying, I didn't know if any of the runs were unearned or anything.
But it's a situation where offensively right now they have – I mean, people use the expression feast or famine when describing this offense, and that's exactly what it is. Like, this is a very elementary question, okay? I'm not a baseball expert. I'm just a talker, right? That's what we do. Why is Dom Decker trying to hit home runs? He had none at Murray State, hit 355 or whatever it was. It's like this team, the approach appears to be top to bottom, I'm trying to hit the ball as far as I can.
Right.
And when they get caught up in that, you have nights like last night where they can't hit the ball as far as they can, and they're not manufacturing offense, and they look completely uncompetitive.
That's just your opinion, and we don't know exactly what Bianco and those guys are teaching.
Right, exactly.
But I know that State, because their batters have talked about it, and O'Connor has talked about it, it's just hit line drives. Hit line drives. Some of those will go out, but State leads the conference, and I think they may lead the nation in doubles because they just hit line drives. They're just hit head-high line drives.
Quickly, so we can do this at the same time. Pull up State's hitting stats for me. And I'm sorry I don't have those. I had them up and I closed them out when we got done talking about them. But as a team, Ole Miss has 38 doubles.
Okay. I know State has more. I'll just put it that way.
Yeah,
so
38 doubles.
They have 38 doubles through how many games? 25?
Yeah.
Yeah. State has 66 doubles.
State
has more home runs than
Ole Miss has 46 home runs.
So Ole Miss does have more home runs than Mississippi State. But Becerra and Udemark are 24 of that, if I'm correct.
Becerra has 14. Udemark has 10.
State's a little more balanced.
And Dom Decker, a guy that shouldn't be trying to hit home runs, has 5.
Which is, it's great he has 5, but he's not getting the base hits that you want.
He is their 3rd leading home run hitter.
State is hitting 347 as a team, slugging 571.
Almost 270.
Their on base is 452, which means their OPS would be 3.21032. What's Ole Miss's OPS?
OPS, let's see. Slugging 487, on base 397.
That's not good.
So
I already know it's under
844.
That's not a good number. You want it to be around 1.
And here's the worst one, the strikeout number, 238 strikeouts.
238 strikeouts as a team?
Yes.
Mississippi State has 179.
And there's your difference between the two teams right now. Now, again, look, this weekend, there's still a lot to like about Ole Miss. And they're inconsistent at the plate, to put it mildly, but when they're on, it's good. It's just you don't know when they're going to be on or not, and they still pitch the heck out of it. So I'm not saying that they don't have a chance to win the series this weekend, because they absolutely, on their home field, have a chance to win the series this weekend.
They have to limit State's offense, though.
Have to limit State's offense.
And that's going to be tough. Few teams have done it.
But you cannot disappear offensively either. You've got to put pressure on State's pitchers. In Game 2 of that series, they didn't put any pressure on Kentucky starter. Just simple. It's a very frustrating offensive product right now, and it makes this weekend look pretty daunting, if you're being honest with yourself. And again, now that I said that, Ole Miss is going to win too, and I'm going to come back here on Monday, and the text line's going to be like, "Oh, I thought you didn't say," because that happens every time.
Yeah.
Because I often don't wear red and blue glasses, but it makes the task with this state team and this state offense look really daunting when you're not consistent at the plate as well.
What you're going to have to, because Sunday is Sunday. I mean, if you said State's going to win one game for sure, Sunday feels like it, because Sunday is all about offense usually. Very rarely do you see a low-scoring Sunday game. But Saturday and Friday, Ole Miss is going to have to get great performances from Elliott and Townsend. And if they get those, they can win those games.
Yes.
But if they don't, if those guys are a little bit off, this is an offense in Mississippi State that can absolutely punish you each and every at-bat. As we said before, there's just not a break for you in this lineup.
So, Ole Miss has not won a game that Becerra has not homered in since March 6th.
Okay. So, yeah.
Ole Miss has not won a game that Becerra has not homered in since March 6th, and that was Evansville.
If you limit Becerra and Utermark, it's going to be really tough for Ole Miss.
Utermark.
Anyway,
it's going to be tough.
It's going to be tough for Ole Miss to win. Because
he has not homered in 4 games since then, all of them losses.
Because, as we were saying here, like, when you get to the bottom of the Ole Miss order, there's guys statistically that are a break, right? They're hitting low 200s. You don't have that with Mississippi State. So, like I said, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, the guy who's hitting 8 right now is hitting 233. He was hitting 100.
Okay, here's the bottom of Ole Miss's lineup, depending on order. Braden Randall, 241. Dom Decker, 232. Hayden Federico, who's leading off now. Hitting the ball better lately, but 222. Austin Foley, 190. If Pano plays 250, if Jones plays 250, if Sermons plays 200. Mosley's hitting 300 right now. He has 19 appearances, just 1 start. But that's what you're looking at the bottom of Ole Miss's lineup right now.
Somebody asked, all State's hitters from Virginia. Only one of State's starters in the field is from Virginia. Chance, Sullivan, Stallman, Fry, and Reese were all here a season ago. Woodson comes in from North Carolina State. Kevin Maluski came from Seton Hall. And then the one from Virginia is Aiden Teal, who's, by the way, has been one of State's hottest hitters over the past few weeks. He got off to a really slow start, but, man, he is really picking up. He's in 359. He had his 3rd home run of the season just last night.
Sports Talk Mississippi. There is other news that hasn't happened yet, but everybody knows it's happening, but they're waiting on buyouts. Will Wade is headed back to Baton Rouge. Not officially yet, but that is what the reporting says. We will talk about that when we come back.
And the Venable Glass.
Sports Talk Mississippi is brought to you by Covington County Hospital in Collins, where your health matters.
And now we have a special surprise for everyone.
Give it to me. More Sports Talk Mississippi right now on Super Talk Mississippi.
One of the great things about being on location, as we often are, here at today we're at the Columbus Marina getting ready for the BassMaster Elite Series, is that people just bring us stuff from every now and then. They love us, and we appreciate them. We want to give a big shout out to the folks at Hank's Barbecue here in Columbus. They brought us, I haven't dove into it yet, but they brought us a brisket sandwich. I took a bite.
Smells so good.
I took a bite. It's quite good. I can't wait to eat it. So, if you'd like to enable my my inevitable self-destruction with more delicious food, I'll eat it.
Asking for free stuff.
I'm just saying.
It's been something that's been quietly talked about behind the scenes for weeks.
Not that
now.
quietly, to be honest.
You know what? You're right. Not really that quiet. LSU planning on making a move away from their basketball coach. Now, reportedly, they are not going to make a move unless they will get Will Wade in the boat. Now, most people are already reporting that it's done and that all sides are just waiting until April 1st, which hiring Will Wade on April Fool's Day is just right on the nose. because that reduces the buyouts. And so LSU's going to wait because there's a reduction in buyout that triggers on April 1st and so on and so forth. Will Wade, wiretap Will, famous for going down as part of the FBI investigation into college basketball. Remember when the
American
FBI
gangster
investigated college basketball? You guys remember that?
Again, another waste of...
Yeah, that was really worthwhile for sure. But LSU moved on from Will Wade. He had to resurrect his career at McNeese before taking the NC State job, and 1 year later is headed back to Baton Rouge, reportedly so.
Allegedly.
Not official. Allegedly. You got to say allegedly with Will Wade because, the whole FBI wiretap thing, but reportedly headed back to Baton Rouge.
Lane Kiffin and Will Wade and Kim Mulkey all together. What a nightmare. Got
to give LSU credit, though. Truly. You have to give LSU credit because fit, right? When Brian Kelly was hired, people, it doesn't matter. Fit doesn't matter. I remember on this show, me having a spirited discussion with the now host of Mornings with Richard Cross about how Brian Kelly does not fit at LSU and it's not going to work. Fit doesn't matter. Fit does matter. And good on LSU for finding 3 coaches that fit their culture so well. Kim Mulkey's already there. And, Kim Mulkey is LSU, right? She is just perfect. And then you hire Lane Kiffin. And then you turn around and hire Will Wade. You could not have a more perfect fit at LSU than Kim Mulkey and Lane Kiffin and Will Wade. A match made in sports heaven. They belong together.
We won't have to Photoshop any pictures of Will Wade in an LSU uniform.
You don't have to do that either.
The LSU gear. Now,
really is remarkable how they are assembling the Avengers of the worst people in the industry.
If I'm Will Wade, my first press conference, I'm coming back, I'm just going to be like, miss me?
Yeah.
We it didn't have to be this way. We didn't have to do all this.
It did not have to be that way. You're right. They could have stuck with him.
Well, they could have because everything he did that was illegal is legal now. They could have just been like, let's just wait it out and so on. That's going to open up the NC State job. So what do you think? Because I think I know where you're going with this. By the way, North Carolina and North Carolina State open at the same time. Those are two
and possibly Kansas?
Well, I was getting into that. North Carolina and North Carolina, not the same tier of jobs, but those are 2 schools that care very deeply about basketball. Kansas is on the verge of opening up. We don't really know what's going to happen with Bill Self, but it feels like he's leaning towards calling it a day.
I'm not reporting anything. I don't report much. I will tell you if I'm hearing things, but I am talking out loud, thinking out loud here with this. It takes 2 to tango. It always does. I would not be surprised if interest is expressed in the NC State job from Chris Beard. Maybe it won't be.
There it is.
I know he has said all the... People need to stop reading into that. You've seen it example after example after example after example of coaches saying the right thing and then leaving anyway. When those things were said, NC State was not open. And I guess technically it may not come open.
Right.
It doesn't mean that would happen. I really am trying to make sure that I cover all of the qualifier bases.
Well, let's just leave it.
But I would not be surprised at all if he is interested in NC State in some capacity.
That's a basketball school.
It's a basketball school. Jim Valvano. And by the way, Will Wade taking the same picture as
did he?
Jim Valvano, and then a year later leaving that school was scumbag behavior. But still...
how do you really feel about LSU, Michael? I'm not getting the picture here.
And so he says, remember when Richard did not want Will Wade at Ole Miss. I did.
Yeah.
Do you want to win or not? Well, come on. He's wiretap Will. Do you want to win? He will win. He's going to win at LSU. I am more confident in him lasting and winning at LSU than I am in Kiffin.
Oh, he'll win. I'm not worried about that.
I think he's going to win, and I think it's sustainable.
He wouldn't leave unless there were promises being made. How much money are they spending down there? It's getting crazy.
There's
between football, basketball, women's basketball, and baseball.
They are going to spend top tier money in 4 sports.
They got like a small country's GDP happening here.
There's an article that he reshared today that Ross Dellinger wrote back during the Kiffin saga about the governor's involvement in athletics at LSU. Makes you wonder. Where is that money coming from?
I don't know.
How it's if a politician, the governor, is involved in getting coaches to a state school, how is he able to pull that off? Because this isn't just fans banding together and pulling their money and donating to a collective.
Yeah.
That's not how you pay Brian Kelly's massive buyout.
Right.
That's not how you buy a $50 million football roster. That's not how you get Will Wade. And I know he's got some business stuff, that he's got money that comes with him wherever, but there's going to be a demand for more. You're spending top tier in baseball and women's basketball. Just it makes you wonder how involved is the governor and what is being promised in return.
I don't know the answer, but the amount of money LSU is pushing into athletics it's something. It's something.
Somebody says Raising Cane's Chicken, Todd Graves. Todd Graves is not by himself buying all of this. He's not.
That's why I'm a Zaxby's man. I don't want to risk it. So, yeah, that's not just that. It's something. There's something else happening there. So,
but what? And I'm not suggesting
I don't know
illegal. I'm not saying breaking the
law. Nor do
I
care to do the investigative journalism.
Right. But if Tate Reeves, and this isn't an indictment or an endorsement on Tate Reeves, although he's done, right? We're going to have a new governor regardless. There's a puppy running around up here. Come here, Come here, Pooch. Hey, sweetie. Don't chew on any of these cords, okay?
There he is.
Hey, you're a beautiful dog. Hey, buddy. That's a, oh gosh. What kind of dog is that?
A brown one.
It's a Boykin Spaniel. That's it. Boykin Spaniel. Beautiful dogs.
Yeah. Very happy, too.
Very happy and sweet dog. They are as friendly natured as a dog can be. Hey, pup. What's up, bud? But if Tate Reeves, let's pretend for a second that Jeff Lebby doesn't work out. This year they go 4-8, and Tate Reeves steps in, and he starts dictating who the coach is going to be, and he starts calling political meetings and talking about who the coach is going to be,
and it's a little different in Mississippi.
Fires Zach Selman and makes that happen, and then the basketball coach that he wanted that he didn't get now suddenly starts coming to Mississippi State too. I would be deeply, deeply concerned,
and that's a little
about
different
the state
of
politics
Mississippi
here
because we're so divided, right?
We are.
Whereas at LSU, even the Louisiana Tech fans and ULM fans, a lot of them are LSU fans at heart, right? They cheer for their team, and they also cheer for LSU. And even if they all created an anti-LSU coalition, it would not be enough to outvote LSU people. So it's a little different, but you're correct. Yes, this goes back to the president having his forums. I don't want politicians involved with sports. I don't need that. They don't need to be involved. Let the people who run the sports figure out the sports.
That's how it should be, but that's not how it is there.
They're going to raise taxes on daiquiri barns.
I mean, it's been reported in no uncertain terms by Ross Dellinger that there's an expectation that there will be some political endorsements from the people in sports, because that's what you want to do.
An NIL deal where Sam Levitt's endorsing a governor, a mayor, a senator,
possibly coaches.
Wow,
just. If I'm reading between the lines correctly, don't be surprised to see Lane Kiffin in part of political events. That would deeply concern me. And again, good on them, right? You're hiring great coaches, and they're going to win. Will Wade is going to win.
Oh, yeah.
He's going to win.
He's won before. He'll win again. He's a winning coach.
I do not want to win if it means the governor is involved in the winning.
It's just weird. It's just weird.
It would make me very uncomfortable.
Everything old is new again. That's what happened to LSU in the 40s and 50s with Huey Long.
He will win, though.
So, yeah.
I just don't want the governor touching my sports.
Wow.
Any governor. Any of them. Don't touch it.
All right. When we come back,
we'll read the text.
All right, then. We'll do that when we come back. Sports Talk Mississippi live at the Columbus Marina.
From the best sports talk in the state.
It's the best thing.
Say that again.
We the best on 3. 1, 2, 3. We the best.
Sports Talk Mississippi. Super Talk Mississippi.
Somebody said props to me when I said that I absolutely would have taken Will Wade at Ole Miss because he would have won. Yeah. Everything he did is now illegal. Again, he's going to win at LSU. I don't fault them for hiring him.
Right.
I mean, I would hire him. Mm-hmm. NC State fans are melting down today. Who did you guys think you were hiring?
Yeah.
Who did you think you were hiring? Nobody should be surprised that Kiffin left Ole Miss. The only surprise is how he did it around a playoff team. If Ole Miss was 9-3, it would have just been like, well, that's Kiffin. I mean,
that makes sense.
Kiffin left. So none of that surprising. He's going to win a lot of basketball games. The SEC is going to get even more difficult. How this is all going down it's odd, it's bizarre, it's all of those adjectives that you want to use to describe something that is abnormal. But hey, that's LSU, and more specifically, that's Louisiana.
Great people in Louisiana. I have nothing against them.
I love the people of New Orleans.
Oh, yeah. So,
somebody says, I love this. LSU fan here listening says, slow sports news day. Let's talk trash about LSU. You are the main topic of every sports show that covers college sports in the country today. You're hiring Will Wade again. It's fascinating. It's fascinating. LSU is the most interesting athletic department in the country right now for like 7 different reasons. But when you hire people like Lane Kiffin and Will Wade and Kim Mulkey, you're going to get some heat. Just here's how you respond to this, LSU fan. You enjoy when your team wins.
Yeah, just don't worry about
it. Don't worry about it.
I always say that as a fan, you should never concern yourself with the outside noise. It
doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Especially in this day and age of college football, or college sports, I should say, where the things that we used to get on to people about, they're not a problem anymore. They're completely legal. So as long as you're not doing anything illegal, and now when I say illegal nowadays, I mean like the law, not the NCAA rules. So it's not an issue there. So yeah, if you're an LSU fan, you should be excited. You absolutely should be excited. You have a elite group of coaches at your school.
Yeah, you have the thought 4-letter word, the haters.
Yeah. Kiffin, Wade, Mulkey, Johnson. I mean, you've got multiple national titles between Johnson and Mulkey. Kiffin put, say what you want. He got Ole Miss to the playoff this year.
He did. Well,
I didn't say he coached them in the playoff. He got them to the playoff this year.
Yeah.
And he turned an Ole Miss program that for the previous decade.
He did an excellent job at winning football
games. Well,
I mean,
for the previous decade at Ole Miss, they were up and down. They had some highs. They had some big lows. He turned them into a consistent year-in, year-out winner.
The worst season he had was an 8-win season.
Right. Well, he had a 5-win season.
But that was the COVID year.
Trying to be technically correct. And then, Will Wade is a guy who's, you've won. So I just don't let it bother you.
Somebody says, I'm an LSU fan. Don't do me dirty like that. What
Have I jinxed it again? Have I jinxed again? My powers are at work here. So, now that said, Marty from Portland, I will make fun of him. But that's just, it's a family thing.
Yeah. So, no, look.
Not as bad as his brother.
It's just a fascinating place. Truly great people in Louisiana. The political structure is bizarre. And I guess it's all bizarre everywhere. We had I don't know if you were listening to Mornings with Richard Cross lately, but there was a interesting political situation that happened here in the state of Mississippi. Mm-hmm. We're not going to talk about it, obviously, but it did happen. So, politics are maybe interesting everywhere, but fascinating stuff unfolding. The ripple effect of that, that could bleed into the SEC. Mm. I've been asked by a few people, like, hey, will Beard jump? And my answer is, I don't know. But I just don't be surprised if he shows up on a candidate list at NC State if that job comes open. Just don't be surprised by that. Somebody on the text line said something about Kansas. I think there are multiple things working against him for a job like Kansas. Most notably, he just won 12 regular season games.
I like all the off-the-court stuff aside. If he had won 20-some-odd games this year, yeah. But it's going to be a tough – look, Kansas fans have long memories. They know college basketball. They're educated fans. They're going to remember what Beard did at Texas Tech and at Texas and the winning he did there. But you're Kansas, you can get just about anybody.
And he just won 12
And he
games.
just won 12 games.
With a roster that he had a lot of money to buy and an operating budget that's, what was it, top 15 in the country.
Yeah. I mean, we saw the numbers came out the other day.
And that was from last season, but still.
They didn't spend less money. Nobody is spending less money these days. Nobody's coming to you and being like, we're cutting your budget. That's how coaches go, I'm cutting my employment. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I've said this a few times, and I know you have too. It's like resources are not the reason Mississippi State and Ole Miss struggled in basketball this year. It wasn't that they didn't have money to get players. It's that they got the wrong players.
Somebody says, what did we miss regarding beer? Nothing. There's nothing that you missed. It is just a speculative thing about if NC State does, in fact, come open, what happens next, the ripple effects of that. That's all. That is all that this is. Don't worry.
Yeah, nothing's for real yet. Nothing's for real. But as jobs open up, and this is something that, Ole Miss fans went through it with Kiffin. Mm-hmm. State fans went through it with Mullen.
It'll be handled differently.
I agreed. Well,
because it was last year and the year before.
Never mind that. No person on earth would handle it the way Lane Kiffin did. Only Lane Kiffin would handle it that way.
True.
But as jobs open up, good jobs, good basketball jobs. NC State is a good basketball job. You can win a national title even today at NC State. His name's going to be connected to him. And so you just, let me ask you this.
Especially a basketball history buff like him, too, there's a lot of history there.
Like, I don't think Ole Miss would pay their next coach what they're paying Chris Beard. I think the next coach would take a pay cut, but not to like $2 million a year. It'd be like a $4 or $5 million job. If you're Ole Miss, you can get a good coach. You can absolutely get a good coach.
As long as Keith Carter's the athletic director at Ole Miss, Ole Miss will not be punting on basketball.
Yeah, that's for sure. And the other side of that is, as you just said, you lost 20 games this year. Are you that broken up if he goes? Look, I know what kind of coach Chris Beard is, but at the same time, he's had one really good season. He missed the NCAA tournament 2 out of 3 years. Mm-hmm. So if
in year one, they were in position to make the tournament,
and they gave out. So that's the question, though. So, like, if I could say, hey, Ole Miss can still be a winning basketball program, but you can do it for $4.5 to $5 million a year instead of $7 million. You take that,
and you got to get the hire right and stuff like that.
But there's plenty of good coaches out there.
But in the meantime, the portal's about to come open, and
you got to know. You got to know who's going to go where, who's going to do what. And there's the other thing to consider if you're Chris Beard, and I don't think he's going to be a candidate in North Carolina or Kansas. I just don't. It could be. He could be. He would be if those 20 were wins and not losses. I would say that.
Yeah, and also, those jobs will have.
But they have ripple effects.
Means Todd Golden's picking up the phone if North Carolina calls,
and Kansas,
etc.
Kansas.
So,
and that's the thing. Like somebody, I forget who tweeted about this. They'd be like, those jobs might not ever open again if you're a 40-year-old coach. A 40 or 50-year-old coach.
Yeah, because once you get him.
The right guy gets in there, he stays for 15, 20 years, and the next thing you know, you were a 40-year-old coach, now you're a 60-year-old coach.
And you don't have it. Yeah.
And you're like, we're not bringing those people in anymore. So, I don't know if...
a year in which North Carolina, Kansas, and North Carolina State all open in the same offseason is remarkable. Now, what's interesting, too, is you're having this conversation about, in college basketball, the NIL has destroyed Cinderella. Cinderella's dead. Mm-hmm. But you know what else might be dead? The dominant ability of the Blue Bloods. Look at who got eliminated in this tournament.
Like, Blue Bloods, they don't really exist right now in college basketball. North Carolina, Duke is still Duke, but that's because Duke has been the one program that's kind of rolled with the changes. They've embraced one and done. They've embraced NIL a little bit differently. They have a young coach who kind of gets it. Kentucky was doing that with Calipari. They were all about one and done and all that. And then they hired an alum, and I never liked that hire, and it's not looking – he's on the hot seat next year. Kansas, UCLA, North Carolina, it's just easier, especially in a program a sport where you only need like one or two elite guys. If you have 2 elite players, you're going to be good. The only example I can give you that's not like that is Rutgers, who had 2 of the top 5 picks in the NBA draft last year and were terrible.
Visualize something with me.
Okay.
All right. So here's what's happening in college sports,
Yeah.
and I'll try to explain it for the radio audience. People say that there are two tiers, the haves and the have-nots. I disagree. I think there are four. There are the haves that are split into two. The haves and then the blue bloods. We'll do basketball for this case.
Yeah.
So you got the blue bloods at the top, and then you've got the haves, the programs, the power programs with a lot of money.
Right.
And then you have, in the have-nots category, the mid-majors that care and invest, like High Point.
Yeah.
And then everybody else.
Everybody else.
The gap between the two in the top tier is closing.
Yeah.
And the gap between the mid-majors is going down closer to the just straight-up have-nots.
Oh, my God. I've gone cross-eyed.
I think that's what's happening here. I think.
We'll see.
We'll see. Because 2 years in a row without a true Cinderella in the Sweet 16 means something. But also Kansas, not good. North Carolina, not good, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
Sports Talk Mississippi. We'll be right back from the Pearl River Resort Studio on the road in Columbus.
In the Venable Glass.
Talk Mississippi on the SuperTalk app, your local SuperTalk station, and at supertalk.fm.
I cut my bangs with some rusty.
I don't recognize this one at all, Rhino. Sports Talk Mississippi. What is this? By the way, Rhino in the studio. What's up, man?
Howdy, howdy. This is Mama's Broken Heart by Miranda Lambert.
Okay.
All right.
Good to know. We are here in Columbus, Mississippi for the BassMaster Elite Series event going on this weekend, getting started tomorrow. And we got Craig Lamb with us. He is the senior editor for Bass. Is it just bass.com? Is that the website if people want to check out your work?
Yes, bassmaster.com.
Bassmaster.com. And you've been covering competitive fishing for how long?
Me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, let's just say I grew up doing it. So I started when I was a teenager. So, over 40 years.
What is the one moment that stands out to you among all other moments in your 40 years of covering competitive fishing?
Yeah, we had a couple of times. Actually, one over the last week or so when an amateur wins the world championship is pretty remarkable. These are bass club guys. They're not our pros. So when one of those do that, it's pretty remarkable because they've got a really, really narrow opportunity to do that. So when that happens, it's always pretty cool.
Life-altering money, or are they allowed to stay amateur? What's the deal with that? Could the winner accept the prize money?
Yeah, they do. They qualify.
Good. Okay.
You can qualify through the club ranks, believe it or not. We just had a winner do that.
Yeah, because in golf, of course, you're not allowed to. Amateurs, right. you have to stay amateur. You have to turn the money down. So good. At least when you win something, you get rewarded.
So
for the
what
win.
we're learning here is that better to be a fisherman than to be a golfer.
Exactly. Yeah.
So you said you were talking to some of the guys coming off the water earlier. What are their thoughts on the area and the chances they have here? Yeah,
what we do is literally about an hour ago is we interviewed a bunch of the guys after they came off the lake over at the ramp there, and we call it Doc Talk, and it's really a pre-gamer of last minute practice observation. So really what we were seeing and we wanted to ask is how many guys are going to stay here in Columbus Lake, the Columbus pool, versus how many are going to run, say, north or south into some of the other pools, which requires locking time, cuts down on fishing time, but sometimes the risk is worth the reward, and it's really split between about 50-50 guys are going to do that, which would be pretty interesting because, there's always the risk if you get stuck in the lock with a barge, you can miss not making it back in time for the weigh-in. So, it's about 50-50 split. The fish are really on the move. It's called a post-spawn, so they're not as active as they normally are. But just a really going to be a really interesting tournament.
So when they're not active like that, I would assume, just thinking out loud as a non-professional fisherman, is the bite down or the numbers lower, or what happens when that happens?
A little mix of both. So really, the fish have they've just spawned, so they're really acclimating to coming off of spawning to moving back out into deeper areas. So you kind of get them both ways, and you've got to be timing is everything. You're going to be having to switch tactics every day. There's not going to be one guy that will go into one spot and stay there for all 3 or 4 days and win the tournament. It'll take moving around and changing tactics, which is what we really love because it makes these guys think. It's not easy, but hey, when you're going to be fishing for for $100,000, it's not supposed to be easy.
So you write about fishing. Are you also a fisherman?
Believe it or not, I don't fish that much.
Really?
I get my fulfillment being here on the water, literally. I don't. When you get paid to do this, you can't complain. When I travel a lot, I hear that a lot. You get to do that for a living. That's when I remind myself, I'm around boats, I'm around water. I'm good.
Covering like a football game for us, we sit in the press box and there's the football game. It doesn't move. It stays right there on the field in front of you. How do you cover a fishing tournament when all of the contestants are, miles that way, miles that way, miles that way? You can't see any of them.
Technology is on our side. So for starters, we usually run 10 live cameras. Okay, and in those boats, they have a GPS transponder. So that populates a map. So at any one time, we're going to know exactly where they are. So and it's linked to a scoring system that we have on the website called Bass Track. And so their weights are actually input as soon as they catch a fish. So what that does for us is not only do we know where they are, we know what they've caught, when they just caught it, and where they are. So we can adjust the coverage accordingly to that.
So a true live scoreboard instead of, when you got started, you just had to wait until the day was done to find out who had what. Yeah.
Now we've got live scoring, live real-time scoring, and we've got an anchor desk literally in Little Rock where our production studio is. It's fun. It's the same thing like an ESPN setup. We've got analysts there, and so they can play off of the camera work, because the cameras are in the boat live. Everything's live to live.
So we got about a minute left. You're obviously a writer. Are you also like a multimedia guy? Is there a Bass podcast or anything like that?
Nope. Everything's on BassMaster.com. Come see us. Watch it on Fox. But most of all, come to Columbus Marina and be part of it all.
Absolutely, and that's going to be Saturday and Sunday this week. I believe Borkey was saying the gates open up at noon. There's plenty of stuff to do for the family, so please come check that out here at the Columbus Marina. We promise you're going to have a great time watching these guys bring in the fish. Craig, appreciate your time. Thanks for joining us here, and thanks for being here in the great state of Mississippi.
Thank you much.
When we come back, 5 o'clock hour, college football fix. I'm sure Borkey's got something for me over there. I'm looking forward to it. We'll be back in just a minute. Sports Talk Mississippi, live in Columbus, Mississippi at the Marina for the BassMaster Elite Series.
In Mississippi sports, you'll hear about it first, right here. Sports Talk Mississippi.
The sun is setting behind us here in Columbus, Mississippi. If you're watching on SuperTalk TV, yes, that's a body of water behind us. The Tim Tom Waterway, site of the BassMaster Elite Series event upcoming this weekend. If you want to come, you should. If you have kids in particular, you should. Kids, free kids activities, by the way, if you come here. Food trucks, live music, and also you'll get to see the fish that all these BassMaster Elite pros are going to be out there catching this weekend. Gates open at noon on Saturday and Sunday. Come check it out. That's why we're here right now and having a great day. It started with mornings with Richard Cross, then middays, now us. So if you've been listening to Super Talk, you've heard some really interesting people that are putting this event on. And also, by the way, network broadcast TV. So it's not just an online stream. Oh, no, you're getting the big Fox treatment this weekend in the Golden Triangle. So that'll be really exciting as well. But you know what time it is. It's just after 5 o'clock. That means it's time for the college football fix.
The college football fix is driven by your Mississippi Ford dealers. Built Ford Tough. That's the best-selling truck in America, the Ford F-150. Don't waste your time. If you're looking to buy a new truck, there's only one place to go. Your Mississippi Ford dealers. Thank you for your attention to this matter.
So on the way up here, at a stoplight, and yes, that is a true statement of fact. At a stoplight, I saw the picture of Kewan Lacey on a turkey hunt with Tyler Jordan of Realtree. And it's a funny picture. Kewan's decked head to toe in Realtree camo.
I think you almost said Durden there, by the way.
Tyler Durden?
Yeah.
The first rule of Fight Club is you don't talk about Fight Club. But it's a funny picture, and he's going apparently on his first turkey hunt. So good on Kewan. But that made me think of something.
Okay.
This time last year, we weren't talking about Kewan Lacey. Now, he was mentioned in the group of Ole Miss has all of these running backs, which one's going to emerge. And then once training camp came, the only name you heard was Kewan Lacey, so it started getting there. But this time, nobody was really talking about Kewan Lacey.
Sure.
Who is that for State and for Ole Miss? Who is a guy that nobody's talking about at all, not getting any fanfare? When he signed, people didn't really lose their minds over or anything like that. He was just, nice portal addition. That's great. And then we will be talking about them from a superstar capacity once the season actually gets played.
Okay. From a Mississippi State standpoint, I'm going to go with Marquise Johnson, the wide receiver from Missouri. He's going to replace Brennan Thompson, who is the SEC's leading receiver last year. We know for a fact now at this point that the Levy offense is going to create opportunities for wide receivers. Last year, Thompson with over 1,000 yards receiving to lead the conference. Anthony Evans with 67 catches, almost over 800 yards receiving for him. So if you're getting that first crack at replacing Thompson, I mean, that's big shoes to fill. But this is a guy who, unlike Thompson, who came in last year with really no resume to speak of, right? Didn't have a lot of production. This is a guy who's caught over 60 passes in his career at Missouri, over 1,000 yards career receiving. Elite speed guy, gives you not as fast as Thompson, but he is the guy who can take the top off of the defense. He's going to get that first crack at that job, and I think he's going to be the one who ends up winning it, and he'll be one of the elite receivers in the conference this year.
So Levy's 2 for 2 on that front. Of all the questions about how things have gone for him, receiver is not a question for how things have gone for him.
Kevin Coleman, year one, caught 70-plus passes. Last year I mentioned Thompson and Evans were both really, really good. Evans back. I think Johnson will be good. For me, it's more about who's that third receiver. And is that going to be, Aiden Williams, who, this is kind of the end of the line for Aiden Williams.
It is.
If it's not this year, it's never. Or is it going to be San Francisco McGee, a rare thing in this day and age, a player that Mississippi State signed out of high school that has sat on the bench and kind of waited his turn for 2 years,
right?
He is. He will be a redshirt sophomore this year. Had a long touchdown catch in the bowl game. Bigger, physical receiver. They like him a lot. He or Williams is going to be that other wide receiver. I think if you said, for me to tell you right now who the top three guys are, who are going to be the starting receiving core, would be Marquise Johnson, Anthony Evans, and I think it's going to be San Francisco McGee to start things off on offense for Mississippi State.
It's a real shame that San Francisco McGee does not play defensive back, because could you imagine the announcer puns that you could do with that? McGee's got him in Alcatraz right now, that kind of stuff.
Well, you could go the Rice-A-Roni route if he catches a touchdown and say that's the San Francisco treat.
See, there you go.
So you can make it happen.
I mean, cheesy announcer puns are always fun, but got to step up and be a quality player if this offense is going to take a step forward. How about Luke Farrelly? God, nobody's talked about this offseason at all.
So I got to tell you this. I was talking to Chase Parham, as I said, right? Mm-hmm. And he mentioned Tristan Bassett was from Clemson, and I just threw it. I was like, did y'all tamper him in too? And he's just like, you got me.
I'm telling you, if Bassett keeps hitting home runs, Dabo's going to call another.
That's another one we got to talk about.
But no, if Dabo didn't do his thing, I think that would be one. Though a guy that, maybe fans would be excited about and stuff. But again, if Dabo didn't do his thing, if he was just a guy that they added, he would have been, nice piece. They needed a linebacker. They got one. Great. I think that can turn into, whoa. Look at what they have at linebacker.
Who was that guy that Ole Miss brought in a couple years
Chance
ago?
Campbell?
Yes, from Maryland.
He was awesome.
He was a fantastic football player. You think he could be this guy?
That's what I'm thinking is that this guy, and Campbell, again, good player at Maryland, good player to power program, but was a transfer that was like, nice linebacker, good. Mm-hmm. And then he became a star. I think that Luke Farrelly has that kind of potential of, again, had Dabo not done his thing, the narrative would have been, good pickup, like him, all good. I think there's star potential with Luke Farrelly. And then Edwin Joseph is another guy at safety that I think is going to have a huge impact on this team. One thing that Ole Miss was lacking, we talked about depth on the defensive line, which is kind of what cost them the Miami series. They needed another quality safety. And they had good safety play. Wyatt Williams did a lot of really nice things. They had nice players in the secondary, but if you want to win a championship, because that's the goal, right? It's to win a championship. Ole Miss had good players, good enough players to make a semifinal across the board. But if you want to go from that to what Miami and Indiana were, safety was another position that they needed to get better. They added Aguero from Georgia, Joseph from Florida State, and then Crawford from Auburn, that defensive back, who is a guy that he had a lot of fanfare. So he's going to be a stud. He already is a stud. Everybody, Ole Miss fans, know about him. But I think Edwin Joseph is a guy that needs to fill a role that was missing on last year's team. If Joseph is on last year's team, they very well could beat Miami.
Okay. So you gave me 2 defensive players, and I gave you an offensive player. So you give me an offensive player for Ole Miss, and I'll come back and give you a state defensive player.
Does Luke Haas count? He's already on the team.
Yeah, he's already on the team.
Okay, but he was a transfer and barely played. But that would be my submission there. Daryl Gill, the Syracuse transfer at wide receiver. I forget what his major is. It's like molecular engineering or some crazy thing like that. Apparently, he's just an absolute genius. Mm-hmm. But he has a chance anyway because Deuce Alexander's already there.
Right.
So I don't know if he's going to have like a 1,500-yard receiving year or anything like that. But he has a chance to fill the role that DeJon Stribling leaves behind.
Okay.
I think that's a very good comp for him, and the type of production that you very well could get out of him is very similar to what you had in DeJon Stribling last year. So Daryl Gill, the transfer from Syracuse at wide receiver, is somebody that if you look at his numbers without context, you think, what's impressive? His quarterback got hurt in week 3, and he still put up a bunch of yards with horrible quarterback play at Syracuse last year. He's a stud.
So for State, I'm going to give you Quentin Taylor, the transfer from Iowa State, cornerback.
I remember that pickup, yeah.
Good pickup. Good player for Iowa State, but this is a guy that you know is going to get opportunities because nobody wants to throw at the other guy. All right?
He's going to be tested every single week.
Well, you just know that going in. Like, everybody's game plans will be like, that side of the field we can't really throw to. We got to go to the other side. So if he's good, it could be a situation very similar a few years back. I say a few years. Gosh, I'm old. 14 years ago. But State had Jonathan Banks, and everybody knew Banks was one of the top corners in the country. And they started another guy out there from a junior college by the name of Darius Slay. And a couple of games in, you were like, wait a minute. This guy's just as good as Banks was. And I don't know if you got the same thing. Jones is as good as either one of those guys was. But I don't know if Taylor can be be the same kind of player that Slay was compared to Banks or Banks was compared to Slay. But that's what State's hoping for. And so he's going to have opportunities because teams are not going to test Kelly Jones.
That's your college football fix, driven by Ford and your local Mississippi Ford dealer. Some of your messages have come in on this, so we'll stick with college football for a while. And we will do that when we come back from beautiful, and it's a beautiful day in a beautiful place, Columbus, Mississippi, at the Columbus Marina on the 10-Tom Waterway. Just stunning. BassMaster Elite coming this weekend. Come by and see it on Saturday or Sunday. We'll be right back in the Pearl River Resort studio.
And the Venable Glass.
Mississippi, your all-access pass to all things sports in Mississippi. Sports Talk Mississippi on the SuperTalk app, your local SuperTalk station, and at supertalk.fm.
By the way, On Thursday and Friday, and also Saturday and Sunday, but on Thursday and Friday, if you live in the area and you want to see the launch or the weigh-in, launch is at 7 a.m. Now, you might want to get here a little bit before 7 just to kind of see the spectacle. On Thursday and Friday, I was just told 100 boats launching at the same time from this marina right here in Columbus. 7 a.m., though, is when that'll happen, and then weigh-ins at 3, all 4 days. So Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 7 a.m. launch, 3 p.m. weigh-in, and then the expo where the food trucks and all that stuff starts at noon on Saturday and on Sunday. Yeah. I'm Borkey. He's Hadad. We are Sports Talk Mississippi from the BassMaster Elite Series right here in Columbus on the 10-Tom Waterway at the Columbus Marina. Talking about players that we think are going to break out this season, guys that aren't being talked about very much, that could have the type of explosion that, say, a Kewan Lacey had. Kelly Jones had a very he wasn't getting a whole ton.
No,
not a transfer,
but we weren't talking about Kelly Jones to the level of what. We weren't talking. I wasn't talking about Brennan Thompson the way that.
Not really. No, because his numbers.
I thought Aiden Williams was going to be the breakout guy. To be totally honest with you, and I thought Anthony Evans just because he was going to go play in the slot. And I thought, okay, well, Coleman was in the slot. He'll replace that. I did not expect Brennan Thompson. I remember when State said they were bringing Brennan Thompson to SEC Media Days, and I was just like, really? All right. What's up with that? And then, you speak to him, and I was immediately like, this guy is very smart. He knows what he's talking about. He's very confident, too. The first question I asked him was, like, are you the fastest receiver in college football? Yep. Yes, sir. Did not hesitate.
And he was.
And he went and he backed it up the entire year, and then he backed it up at the NFL Combine. And so that's the thing about the transfer portal. It used to be you had like maybe a slight idea. You're like, okay, the State recruited this guy, almost recruited this guy. He was a 4-star kid coming out of high school. He set the bench. Caleb Cunningham would be a good example of this, right?
Yep.
A guy who's been on the bench for a couple years now. It's his time to shine. You don't have that as much anymore. It's more about the new faces year in and year out. So that raises the question. Is Cunningham that guy, somebody who's been at I mentioned McGee. Is Cunningham that guy for Ole Miss who's been there a couple of years, who's ready to take a step forward?
They certainly think he's going to be.
Okay.
That's what they think. The physical ability is absolutely there. Mm-hmm. But a lot of people that have been around seem to think that it is now his time and he's ready for this to be his time. We shall see. And you want players like that to get rewarded, don't you, for sticking around, not falling into the, I'm not playing right away, so I have to leave type discourse. He stuck around, and so you hope that it pays off for him because he is going against the trend in college football. Former 5-star, doesn't play for 2 years. Mm-hmm. Those guys don't stay at their schools, but he did, so hopefully it works out for him. But a lot of people think it will. Some of the text line says, definitely Gill for the Rebels. Larry took exception to me saying that Ole Miss had some weaknesses last year, and he said, you don't think Miami and Indiana had any weaknesses? Tell me what Indiana's was.
Yeah, Miami had a couple weaknesses, but Indiana's
what was Indiana's?
Tough to point out a weakness for them. That was a very solid football team.
I mean, truly, like what did Indiana, what was the thing that you could exploit with Indiana? You could probably argue that they didn't have like an elite wide receiver. I mean, I guess maybe that's it, but their passing offense was excellent.
We didn't know. They didn't have weaknesses at the end of the season. Coming into the season, like right now,
right?
We didn't know Fernando Mendoza was going to be what he was.
Hugh Freeze knew who Fernando Mendoza was when he took Cal into Jordan Hare and beat him. But,
yeah, that's true.
Well, I mean, what was Indiana's weakness, Larry?
Yeah.
What did they do poorly? They could beat you through the air. They could beat you on the ground. They could beat you slow. They could beat you fast. They pass rushed great. They stopped the run great. They tackled great. They covered great. What did they? Their kicking game was great. Their special teams was great. That was one of the most dominating teams in the history of the sport. The argument is them or 2019 LSU or 2001 Miami.
Yeah,
that's what we're talking about with Indiana. So, Brent, forgive me, says, is State's defense going to be good enough to take pressure off of the offense?
I think the defense will be improved because I believe in Zach Arnett. I believe that he will have this defense. Are they going to be a top 5 in the conference defense? Probably not. They don't have to be. They just need to be like a top 10 defense. Yeah. You know, can they shave down from 15th to 10th that would be a massive step forward for the Bulldogs.
The way the bass boat just glides on the water is unbelievable.
Cool.
One thing I wish I would have asked our guest earlier, John Cruz, who's competing in this, been a 2-decade-long veteran in this in the pro fishing game. What's the fastest you've ever gotten your boat to? I forgot to ask him that. I wanted to ask him that.
Yeah, would have liked to know that. That's good. Here it is. I can tell you what Indiana's weakness was, and you have to put weakness in quotes. Their one weakness is they didn't have any, quote, super elite players. Their players were just damn good.
Yeah, and that's.
Like Mendoza's going to be the first pick in the draft because he plays quarterback, and it's a quarterback-driven league. I will be honest with you. If I was in charge of making the Raiders pick, I would trade that pick so fast. Like I just don't think Fernando Mendoza is going to be an elite NFL quarterback. If I'm wrong in 5 years,
good
you come
in
back.
The tight spots, and he was
so
good in the playoffs.
But man, like his stats don't just jump out at me. He's a winner, I'll give you that. But man, I don't know if he's a kind of guy who elevates everybody around him.
You don't think so?
In a bad situation, like I think that Cignetti elevates everybody.
I think there's some Brady in Mendoza.
Well, we'll see. That's big
not winning 7 Super Bowls,
right?
But
Right,
I mean,
we'll see. But that being said, like they don't have a lot of guys who are going to be first round draft choices, but they played well as a team
and just so well coached and so well prepared.
They don't make mistakes.
They didn't make any mistakes.
They just that Indiana team was not the kind of team that on 3rd and 4 was going to jump off sides.
Nope.
Or the type of team that the other way around on 3rd and 1 where they need to get a yard is going to commit a holding penalty and make it 3rd and 11. They're not. They weren't going to do that.
And especially their special teams. I mean, they were just so good in every aspect of the game. Somebody says nobody was talking about Trinidad before the season last year. You know what's funny though? If you go back and you listen to Kiffin or the practice reports or anything like that around the scrimmages, every single time people got to see practice or Kiffin was asked about practice, man, this Trinidad kid, this dude's awesome. Every single one. In hindsight, we should have I say we, I mean like the collective we, not
right.
You were more focused on state, of course, but there should have been a
red light.
Like, okay, this guy's lighting up the first team defense every time they have a scrimmage. It's like, God, this Trinidad guy, he's awesome. He threw 3 touchdowns again today. I mean, and I didn't pay attention to that, and maybe I should have, but apparently the team and the coaches knew. Larry follows up, says, I took exception to it because you said to be a championship team, Ole Miss had to have elite defense in alignment, and nobody has that. Indiana had an elite defense last year.
Miami's defense was
Miami had an elite
well.
defense last year.
Yeah. 2 very good defenses.
Larry, I love you to death, and I'm so glad you're here because you're here all the time.
I love Larry, but man, he takes it personal when you get close to talk about Ole Miss.
Ole Miss did not have championship caliber players at a few spots on defense, and that cost them the Miami game. Carson Beck had the best game of his life in that game because of those missing pieces. Now, in part of Ole Miss's issue last year was the resource allocation. The offense got, 200% more of the money than the defense did, and that has been fixed.
Total defense, Indiana 2, Miami 5, Ole Miss 37. That's 2 of the top 5, 37th. So, yeah. Who was the other semifinalist? Oregon?
Oregon.
Well, that's not them.
That's your difference between
They were 12th.
There's your difference between a really good team and a championship team. Yeah. Ole Miss was really, really freaking good.
What I meant to say was you have to have 8 elite defensive linemen to be a championship team? Not 8.
I didn't say that. I said you have to have 8 playable defensive linemen.
You have
to have a few guys that can give you 12 snaps a game.
So, 2 years ago, Ole Miss had that.
Yes.
Nolan, Umamielen, Pegues, and Ivy.
The
starters.
But the guys behind them
what I was going to say
good.
is those guys were, I would say Nolan and Umamielen were elite. Pegues and Ivy were very, very good.
Yes.
But the guys behind them were the starters this year.
Xavier Harris,
Eccles,
was there.
Franklin. Those were guys who played a lot last year. This year, those guys became the starters, and the guys behind them weren't as good as they were.
Yes.
It's just that simple. So, all right, when we come back, I have some horrible news.
Uh-oh.
There's fraud happening with my beloved San Francisco Giants. We're going to talk about that when we come back. They are attempting to perpetuate a fraud. Today is opening day of MLB. Giants, Yankees tonight. Giants at home for the first time. I can't remember when the last time the Giants were at home on opening day. But they're engaging in fraud. Don't you look?
I can't see. The angle in the sun is not allowing me to see.
They are engaged in fraudulent practices, and we're going to have to call that out. We don't. If you engage in fraud, we don't care who you cheer for. We're going to call you out for that. We'll do it when we come back. Sports Talk Mississippi live at the Columbus Marina for the BassMaster Elite Series.
It's time for more Sports Talk Mississippi.
Finally.
On SuperTalk Mississippi, the SuperTalk app, and at supertalk.fm.
We got to give a big shout out to Trey in Caledonia, who just brought us about 10 pounds of deer burger. Now, what does that mean? Well, it means, A, thank you, Trey. Thank you, people of Columbus. We've had a great day here in Columbus.
It's been awesome.
Our friends from Hank's Barbecue brought us some brisket sandwiches. They were delicious. Now we got some deer burger to take home. What that means is, I believe, and Alex can correct me if I'm wrong, we're going to be in Saltillo at Scruggs Farm Lawn and Garden on April the 8th. People of the Tupelo-Saltillo area, you're on the clock. What are you going to bring us? What are you going to tell us? How are you going to tell us that you love us? We look forward to finding out April the 8th. All right.
Real quick,
got?
just to wrap up this conversation, this guy sent a few texts, and he's right. Joshua Dye, he says that's who it is. Stats are crazy, but film's even crazier. I don't care what level of college. If you score 28 touchdowns and average 6.2 per carry, you have talent. That is the running back from Southern Utah that transferred to Ole Miss. I do think, because they got one from Southern Utah, one from Michigan State.
Yeah.
Pretty crowded room, and I responded to him on the text line, but I'll say it out here. I would not be surprised. I think you should expect to see a carry reduction out of Kejuan Lacey. Now, I'm not talking about in the LSU game. They're only going to give him 10 carries. What I mean is, when they're playing their FCS game late in the third quarter, Kejuan's not going to be on the field this season. I think you're going to see a more sensical rotation at the running back position to protect his body, not only for the more important games, but also because they want to protect his body and do the right thing. Him playing late in the second half against the Citadel was not the right thing to do. So I think you're going to see a guy like him play a little bit more than you would think because Kejuan's there. I do think you're going to see a reduction in carries this season. An ethical one. Let's put it that way.
Ethical. What does Ole Miss know about ethical? Anyway.
All right, let's hear it.
You are familiar, I'm sure, with the 999 challenge.
I am familiar with the 999 challenge.
For those of you who are not, what does that mean? It means you go to a baseball game, and 9 innings, you eat 9 hot dogs and drink 9 beers. It's a very manly challenge. And my beloved San Francisco Giants have brought out their version of it. Now, the first thing you hear is like it's $55. That's not a bad deal, right? $55 for 9 hot dogs and 9 beers? That's where the fraud lies. First off, not full-size hot dogs.
And I'm already out.
I'm already out.
Done.
But
You're already
it gets worse. It's only 1 beer in 9 flight-size glasses. This is
$50?
This is fraudulence. This is ridiculousness. There it is right there. Look at that. You get 1, I guess that's like a 24-ounce can of beer into 9. So we're talking like less than.
So 2 beers.
Basically 2. You're basically getting 2 beers.
And about 4 hot dogs.
But really, you're buying. That's the size of the beer you buy at the game. You get 1 beer and you're getting 4 hot dogs. This is a joke.
What happened to America?
Only in California.
That is the most California thing I've ever heard.
Like, if you don't want to do this because you think it's unhealthy, that's fine. That's fine. But if for those of us who would like to participate and do a real 999 challenge, this is a joke.
Our friend Rebecca Turner would appreciate this reference. That's like running a half marathon and stopping at 5K and still picking up your medal anyway.
Yeah.
That's not the 999 challenge. If you have never done the 999 challenge, I have done it one time, in my life, and that once was enough. It was a dollar dog night at an Ole Miss baseball game, and I did it, and the next day was one of the worst days of my life. But dang it, Hadad, I did it, and I felt like a man, and I'm proud of that accomplishment. And now the Giants are trying to take it away from me.
Grant Merrick of the San Francisco Gate has he took the challenge apparently. The fans are not given your choice of beer, so you just get a Coors Light. It is 9 mini hot dogs, 9 glasses, and an estimated 3 to 4 ounces, and a tall can of Coors Lights. It's
not even a challenge.
That should be a 24-ounce can, right?
What happens when I go to the
beer
baseball
is
game.
not enough to fill every glass up to the level that anyone would consider regular pour. Even with a 2/3 full pour, the Coors Light ran out after the 8th glass. There's nothing wrong with nursing one beer for a full baseball game. Okay, first off, I would disagree with that. There is something very wrong with nursing one beer for 9 innings of baseball. But secondly, to consider this a challenge in any sense is a bit of a stretch. Perhaps the only real challenge is eating one hot dog an inning so that by the time the final 3 roll around, the mini dogs have been refrigerated by the cool bay breeze. This is an outrage. This is not American, in my opinion. So it's $54, whereas 9 full beers and 9 full-size hot dogs, if you really wanted to do the challenge at Oracle Park, would be $180, including tax and tip. First off, you use the word tip for concession stand food. I will not be participating in that. I am a great tipper. I tip really well at restaurants.
Look at what Rhino just sent you.
I do not tip at the concession stand. Where did he send it?
To your actual phone.
My cell phone here. Let's see what we got here. Oh, what's worse than a fraudulent 999 is the Diamondbacks serving 16 ounces of cottage cheese in the desert heat.
It's called the Healthy People Like Baseball 2 Parfait at Diamondbacks games. It's a cottage cheese with carrot sticks, celery, salted almonds, and crunchy pretzels.
I can't stress what I'm about to say enough. All right, I already don't like the Diamondbacks because they're in the NL West, but you, sir, can go straight to hell. This is an unbelievable outrage.
We should take their franchise away from
You shouldn't be allowed to have baseball with baseball and cottage cheese.
Cottage cheese and carrots
goes together like cocaine and waffles. It doesn't go together at all. What an outrage.
Oh, that's
Borkey, that's not even a challenge. This is what I get at the baseball game.
24 ounces of beer and 4 hot dogs is a nice night at the ballpark.
180 if you want to do the full challenge. Now,
you got a bug on it.
Thank you. Now, the Arizona Sod Poodles, which is an unbelievable name. The Amarillo Sod Poodles,
Amarillo
who are
by morning.
the AA Diamondbacks affiliates. You need to put the Sod Poodles people in charge of the Diamondbacks work. They're doing a $9.99 for $90. That's not bad for 9 hot dogs and 9 full beers.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. So that's pretty.
And
economical.
that price gets knocked down to $60.75 on Thursdays. Thursdays.
Ooh. I like that idea.
Hey, Alex, can we get a remote in Amarillo? She's not listening.
She's not listening at all.
So,
speaking of minor leagues, we got a few texts about this today. I don't know anything about it, so I'm going to take the text line's word for it. I know nothing about it.
I think we have a SuperTalk article about it.
Good.
You go look, though.
Apparently, there is minor league hockey coming to North Mississippi. So we already have it in South Mississippi in Biloxi. Yeah. Apparently, it's coming back to North Mississippi.
From our friend Caleb Sailors at SuperTalk News, professional hockey returning to South Haven after a near-decade hiatus. The Landers Center has announced that a local team will be the 15th member of the Federal Prospects Hockey League. Will begin action in the ice in October. We don't appear to have a nickname or anything for the team yet.
Here
it is right here. If you go to supertalk.fm and find this article, you can submit a name for the hockey team.
Let's submit a name right now. Text line.
C-Spire text line, 601-879-4395.
We need to do this tomorrow.
Let's do this tomorrow.
Save it,
guys. Don't send them in right now. Tomorrow we will come up. We will get the nickname. We will crowdsource this. We will hone our skills and our talents, and we will find what's the word I'm looking for on there. Somebody asked, why do I have a sticker of a beach towel on my laptop? This is the state flag of Mississippi. You see this right here? That is the flag of the great and sovereign state of Mississippi. You called it a beach towel, sir.
Siri's on it. Siri's going to remind me tomorrow because I want our audience to submit names.
We are going to come up with the best name.
Hockey McHockeyface.
We are going to have the best name. Nobody will have a better name than us. People are asking right now, they're like, what are you going to name this? We'll tell them. We will tell them what the name is. We'll give it the best possible name. No one's name will be greater than ours.
The Ice Kings, and it's Elvis themed.
That's good. That's good. Well, in fact, you're going to go that. The Hound Dogs?
The Hound Dogs.
That's
a good submission.
A good one.
But I do want us to submit, some minor league names that, may or may not get there. What was that school in Louisiana that changed their name, and some of the submissions were, the most popular submissions were Drew Brees Elementary.
Oh, yeah. Schoolie McSchoolface.
Schoolie McSchoolface.
Hockey McHockey Team.
Hockey McHockey Team.
I like that.
Oh, I can't wait to do this tomorrow. I cannot wait. That's exciting, though. Minor league hockey is a great time. I grew up on it. There was a minor league team in my hometown. I know that some of you that lived in the Jackson area had the Bandits for a long time. What was it in South Haven? The River Kings?
Yes.
Isn't that what it was? And then on the coast, it was the Sea Wolves. They've changed their name to something
Breakers
else.
now.
The Breakers.
The Biloxi Breakers.
Minor league hockey's fun. And I'm glad to see it coming back.
He
for
says
those of you
that
North
South Haven
Mississippi.
has a minor league basketball team called the Hound Dogs that Keith Carter played for.
Aren't they the Hustle now? The Memphis Hustle?
That's the G League team.
So they have two basketball teams right now?
I don't know. It says had a minor league basketball team. The Tupelo T-Rex, I remember them, yeah.
Honestly, T-Rex would be a pretty sweet name.
Yeah.
For a team.
But it's South Haven, so we gotta figure that out. The South Haven Hound Dogs could work, though.
That's a really good idea.
You ain't nothing but hound dog.
Oh, and their intro song could be like a dubbed-up version of Hound Dog.
Oh, yeah, everybody could put it, the remix version of Hound Dog. We will hit this tomorrow. Tomorrow on the C Spire text line, we will take some time and come up with the perfect name for the new minor league hockey team in South Haven. This is a great idea. All right, we're going to wrap things up with you when we come back. We've got a little bit more to talk about here at the BassMaster Elite Classic here, Columbus, Mississippi, Columbus Marina. Beautiful day out here on the water, but tomorrow the action really begins. 100-plus boats will be out here getting ready to catch a lot of fish. We're going to finish it up with you when we come back here on Sports Talk Mississippi.
From the Venable Glass
Sports Talk Mississippi. Hey, it's go time. Sports Talk Mississippi.
Well, say something.
Super Talk Mississippi.
Sports Talk Mississippi. We're playing chicken there. You should have jumped in.
You should have.
Just taken over.
Drop ball already.
It'll be all right. We are here wrapping things up here with you at the Columbus Marina BassMaster Elite. Is it the classic BassMaster Elite Classic? I like to have the verbiage correct.
BassMaster Elite Series.
BassMaster Elite Series.
BassMaster Classic was 2 weeks ago.
Correct.
Okay, that's a lot. That's a lot of one particular syllable that if you're not careful, you can screw things up. Mandy Pascal joins us now. What is your official title?
I am the communications manager at Bass.
All right, so you should be great at talking.
Should be.
You should be good to go right here. This is a huge event. We've had a few people on here. We had one of the anglers on with us earlier. How difficult is this event to put together? All of these events for you guys.
It takes obviously a lot of planning, and we've been working on this one, I know, for a couple years. And we love coming to new venues, but also with new venues comes new challenges because we're not sure logistic-wise how we're going to have set up, and then have to have places for the anglers on the docks and to get them here and all of that. But we are just very excited to be here this week.
And then you have to deal with us, and it becomes a whole big thing.
Most people turn that part down. It's like, nah, not me.
Well, what would you say to somebody? I mean, we have a sports audience, and we're very thankful to have a very large sports audience, but not everybody is a fisherman or into fishing. What would you say to somebody that is looking for something to do this weekend that may not be into fishing? Would it be worth their time?
It would absolutely be worth the time. Starting Saturday and Sunday at noon, we'll have an outdoors expo that's set up out here. So there'll be different food trucks and entertainment. We've got Yokohama Tires going to come exhibit this weekend. Mountain Dew has signed on as a sponsor this year, and fans can come by and enter for a chance to get on a Mountain Dew official boat to get on the water and get a first-hand view of some of the action going on.
We don't let Michael have Mountain Dew. He gets a little too hyped up.
I can't have.
You've seen Ricky Bobby. He's like Walker and Texas Ranger over there. Very, very, very tough scene when he gets in the Mountain Dew. When you think about events like what they bring to communities, what is this event going to bring to the Golden Triangle this weekend?
Normally, our economic impact when we come for an elite tournament is about $1 million.
Wow.
So that's people traveling from all over, the anglers, their families. It's housing, it's restaurants, it's gas that everybody is bringing to the community, and obviously community involvement as well. We try and give them stuff to come out and participate in.
And when you're scouting venues like this, I'm curious about that component because, we here in Mississippi, we love the Golden Triangle. Why did Bass come to love the Golden Triangle to put an event here? You said you've been working on it for years.
The fishing, obviously, is a big thing. We like different, diverse fisheries to give them different challenges. Obviously, some venues we go to are known for giant fish. Others are known for not as big fish, but it's a tougher fishery, which shows off a complete, well-rounded angler. Showing that they can fish in tough situations and a little easier situations.
So what is this area going to be?
This is going to be a tougher fishery.
Okay. What makes it tough?
I guess not as many fish, but the bites you get are going to be quality fish. And every little fish will count.
Yeah, 100%. So when we think about these events and what your job is in communication, we talked with was it Ed earlier today, and the deals you guys have with Fox, the national publicity that Bass is getting right now. Does that make your job easier, or does it make it more difficult because you're like, man, there's a lot of eyes on me right now?
There is a lot of eyes, but I think that makes it a little more fun. Just knowing that we're working with big networks such as Fox, and actually this Sunday we will be live on Big Fox, so people that aren't able to be here on site can still tune in and on.
What are the hours on that?
That Big Fox, I think, is 1 to 3 on Sunday.
So, I mean, that if you have any cable package, nothing. You just turn it on and you've got it right there. That's such a cool thing. I grew up on the ESPN days where it was bass fishing and things like bowling and stuff like that, and it did go away for a period of time from ESPN, and now to have it back on a big network like that is good. Me and my friends would go fishing because we got to watch fishing. It was on ESPN, so we did it. And now because it's so accessible again, you're going to inspire a group of young people like me to get out and go do something like that.
Because it is such a niche thing. That it's really cool, and getting to see firsthand on the big networks and stuff how different baits are used and which angler fishes a certain pattern and stuff. It's a good learning tool as well.
Absolutely.
So we've asked everybody else. We're going to ask you. Do you like to get out on the water yourself and reel them in?
I do. We actually went out fishing this past Sunday.
Okay. And?
We caught a few.
Okay.
But we had a great time. That's all that matters.
That's the thing that we were talking earlier with John is like, when I think about fishing, I think about being relaxed. I'm just sitting back in the boat. I'm enjoying myself. And, man, these guys are competitors.
This is their job.
Yes. Well, this is our job. So I'm a competitor at that as well. Mandy, really appreciate y'all having us over here today. I know it's been a long day with SuperTalk. I know it's a long day whenever you have to deal with Richard Cross. So we're glad that we've been able to come out here and bring you guys have a little fun with you guys today.
Absolutely. Well, I'm glad y'all came out.
All right, tomorrow, guys, go ahead and start getting your ideas ready.
Start thinking.
What are we going to call this minor league hockey team in South Haven? Get your names ready and send them to us on the C Spire text line tomorrow. Plus, it's Friday. Tomorrow's Thursday. Tomorrow's Thursday.
It's not Friday, brother.
I wish it was Friday.
But we have a baseball series.
We got to talk a lot about Mississippi State and Ole Miss on tomorrow's show. We'll do that within. For Michael Borkey, I'm Brian Hadad. Thanks for listening to Sports Talk Mississippi. Back with you guys tomorrow.
Incredible! A SuperTalk Mississippi media production.